Welcome to Glow Dreams, where each night we guide you to deep, peaceful sleep, carried by soothing stories and calming sounds. Welcome to a moment of gentle stillness, where every breath can lead you deeper into a warm, comforting space of calm. Begin by allowing your body to settle in the most comfortable way possible, as if you are preparing to embrace a gentle winter evening. Notice how the surface beneath you provides support, and let yourself sink into that support with a sense of relief and ease. Feel a slow, soothing rhythm guiding each inhale and exhale. With each breath in, imagine a soft, cool air flowing through you, clearing away any tension in its path. With each breath out, envision a gentle cloud of warmth drifting outward, carrying any cares or worries far away. There is no rush here, no urgency, only the soft cadence of the moment. Now, sense a mild hush settling around you, as though the world has draped itself in a quiet cloak of freshly fallen snow. Envision flakes fluttering silently through the air, each one unique and delicate, illuminating the darkness with a faint, silvery glow. These snowflakes flutter around you, dancing in slow spirals, inviting you into a realm of stillness and peace. Let your shoulders soften and notice how your neck feels. Perhaps it unwinds, freeing itself from the weight of the day. Your hands, resting wherever they feel most at ease, grow warm and relaxed, while the muscles of your face soften. If a thought or a memory comes to mind, gently acknowledge it, then allow it to drift away like a lone snowflake carried by a light breeze. There is no need to chase after any thought or feeling. Everything can come and go as softly as the snow itself. In this quiet space, tune into a distant, comforting hum, like a faint lullaby echoing through an open, moonlit field. Imagine that each note cradles you in a soft embrace, inviting your body to rest even more deeply. The hush of the surroundings grows more profound with every gentle breath, and a sense of warmth begins to bloom within your chest. It is as if a subtle, glowing ember has been lit deep inside, radiating a steady, nurturing light through your entire being. Now, allow your mind to wander to a vast landscape, blanketed in white. Notice how the snow stretches endlessly, reflecting soft moonlight in quiet ripples across the ground. With every breath, you become more attuned to this serene winter scene. The air is crisp yet soothing, and there is a comforting presence in the stillness, as though the snow itself offers a gentle invitation to rest and dream. Take a moment to sense your heartbeat, calm and unhurried, quietly resonating in harmony with the snowy environment. Let your breath sink with that steady pulse, as though your entire body is swaying in time with a silent lullaby. The evening sky overhead is deep and vast, sprinkled with stars that sparkle faintly, each one casting a gentle glow across the snowy expanse. It feels safe and welcoming, a place where only kindness and serenity reside. In this peaceful state, know that you are exactly where you need to be. Let the quiet hush of the snow fill every corner of your thoughts, carrying you further into the comforting landscape of dreams. Soon, we will begin a story, one that unfolds within this soft, moonlit world, a realm of snowflakes, gentle wonders, and a tender promise of companionship. As the story drifts into focus, allow yourself to remain in this warm, tranquil space, ready to journey into the heart of a snow-covered adventure. A gentle hush settles over a vast expanse of silver white. Far beyond the comforting darkness of dusk, a lone moon hovers in the sky, sending slender beams of pale light across a seemingly endless snowy field. The air carries a crispness that hints at the hush of winter, yet there is a warmth woven into the stillness, an invitation to step deeper into a soothing, reflective mood. All around, soft snowdrifts form gentle slopes, creating a landscape that glimmers with the faint glow of night. Each snowflake catches the moonlight in its own delicate way, as though a million tiny crystals have gathered to light up this secluded realm. The wind drifts across the surface of the snow, but it is hardly more than a whisper. Instead of howling or rushing, the breeze caresses the banks of powdery white, shifting loose flakes into a quiet dance. In this moment, time itself seems to slow. Minutes feel like hours, hours might as well be days. The hush is so tender that even the slightest sound, maybe the faint rustle of something moving in the distance, reverberates with an air of wonder. Like the gentle echo of a harp string, the silence resonates more deeply than any grand melody. It speaks of tranquility, of rest, and of a deep peace resting just beneath the surface of each breath. No footprints mark the snow's surface yet, just a glistening canvas waiting to tell a story. If one gazes across the horizon, there might be a subtle outline of a small figure, gently emerging against the white and gray background. It remains still, blending into the landscape. Whatever it may be, it seems to stand as quietly as the surrounding trees, as though listening to the rhythmic lullaby of winter's night. Occasionally, a faint glow of starshine peers through the wispy clouds, adding sparks of faint silver to the snowy earth below. The stars, though distant, seem intimately connected to this realm, as if guiding gentle spirits through the darkness. They flicker and shimmer, reflecting across the cold surface of the snow, making the blanket of white shimmer just a little brighter. It is almost as though the world has drawn a shimmering veil over itself, granting the night a secret kind of luminescence. Here, everything feels unhurried. One could linger in the stillness without a care, embraced by the soft hush of moonlight and drifting snow. The distant shapes, bare trees, gently curved hills, and the sky overhead merge in a serene harmony, all tinted with soothing shades of pale silver and muted blue. No commotion, no rush of daytime bustle interrupts this lull. The quiet is pure and profound, like the deep breath of the earth in its calmest state. A sense of unspoken possibility lingers in the air. It might be the promise of a whispered story, waiting to unfold beneath the moon's soft glow. Perhaps the night itself is gathering its gentle magic, preparing to reveal something hidden among these frosted hills. The light dusting of new snow hints that a wondrous tale is about to begin, one that carries the promise of companionship and warmth amidst the silence. Even in such a vast and silent place, there may be moments of profound connection, where loneliness melts away and delicate bonds are formed. In this scene of silent enchantment, the snow seems to hold its breath, patiently awaiting the arrival of a small miracle. Before long, the hush of the wind might give way to the gentle crunch of snow underfoot or the quiet murmur of a creature awakened by curiosity. Yet for now, everything is still. The blanket of pure white covers all worries, all uncertainties, offering a comforting pause in the heartbeat of the world. And so, in this quiet snowy night, the stage is set. All around, the land lies wrapped in a shimmering hush, cradling an unspoken promise of beauty and wonder. Soon, the first notes of a hidden melody will emerge, an echo of footsteps, a glimpse of kind eyes, a gentle stirring that will bring life to this serene winter tableau. Let the moonlit silence be the tender prelude, guiding every thought and breath toward a gentle unfolding of dreams. At the edge of the moonlit expanse, where the snow stretches on like a gentle ocean of white, something small and perfectly round rests in quiet stillness. Against the pale hush of the evening, it almost melts into the landscape. Yet, under closer observation, one can discern the faint outline of two spheres stacked atop each other, formed of softly packed snow. A delicate twig serves as an arm, another twig for the other side, and a tiny piece of wood or coal for each eye. This is a snowman, silent, solitary, and as pristine as the wintry surroundings. A tender glow from the moon highlights the contours of its softly curved figure. Each subtle curve seems meticulously formed, as though someone carefully shaped it with both patience and affection. Yet, there is no trace of footprints around, no sign of a companion who might have breathed life into this gentle being. It stands alone, a figure of stillness amidst the dreamlike terrain. If it could feel the chill of the night, perhaps it would shiver, though, for now, it merely bears witness to the drifting snow, the silent sky, and the distant shimmer of faint stars overhead. Time seems to move differently for this solitary snowman. Hours might pass as it waits, yet no shadow or friendly hand arrives to greet it. The wind, soft as a lullaby, drapes bits of glittering frost across its round body, granting it a kind of frozen cloak. Now and then, a few flakes settle upon its small nose, perhaps a piece of carrot or a rough approximation of one. If one could listen closely, there might be a gentle rustle each time the breeze sweeps past, as though trying to murmur a comforting word or two. The snowman remains steadfast, gazing quietly into the pale horizon. Despite its stillness, there is a tender vulnerability in the snowman's form. Its blackened eyes, tiny and simple, reflect the ambient glow of the frosty plains. One might sense a profound yearning in that silent stare, an unspoken hope that something out there will acknowledge its presence. The hush of the night is so deep that the snowman's existence feels like a small secret woven into the tapestry of this moonlit realm. It seems almost part of the landscape, yet there is an intangible spark to it, hinting at a hidden heart beneath its frosty exterior. From a distance, the soft crunch of snow occasionally pulses through the air, perhaps a stray branch falling, or an animal quietly passing in the night. At times, it seems the snowman might tilt its head just a little at these faint noises, as though listening for a friendly voice. The world around, however, remains serene, offering only the muted hum of stillness. Even the gentle glow of the moon drifts across the snow without haste, leaving lengthened shadows that dance around the snowman's figure as the night wears on. Moments stretch into something timeless, and the snowman stands in contemplative silence. The aura of loneliness surrounding it might stir a tender ache in one's heart, for in that elegantly pure shape lies a longing to belong. Yet, even as the snowman remains unaccompanied, the sweeping white fields and the starry dome overhead seem to hold it in their gentle embrace. It is never truly forsaken in this environment that quietly cradles every breath of wind, every whisper of cold air. somewhere deep beneath the layers of packed ice and snow, an almost imperceptible warmth exists, a spark of wonder that has yet to awaken. Though it stands alone, the snowman's gaze mirrors the soft glow of the night sky, quietly dreaming of a moment when the hush of solitude may shift into the kindly presence of another. In this moonlit hush, the snowman waits, patient, hopeful, and fragile in its simplicity, carrying within its stillness the tender promise of a story waiting to unfold. High above the silent stretch of moonlit snow, a subtle glow begins to shimmer, like a distant whisper of color within the darkness of the sky. At first, it could be mistaken for a faint cloud or a gentle haze just at the edge of one's vision. But gradually, as the moments slip by, the sky reveals the tender birth of an aurora. Soft hues of pale green and lavender start to ripple along the horizon, as though the stars themselves are breathing out tiny ribbons of light, weaving a tapestry of delicate luminescence across the heavens. All around, the snow-capped landscape appears to hold its breath, as if eager to witness this fragile spectacle. The drifts of snow, once illuminated only by the moon's silvery glow, now catch a hint of these new colors, reflecting faint traces of pastel shimmer. In the stillness, there is a sense that everything has come to rest. No wind stirs the powdered surface. No creature scampers across the crystalline crust. Instead, the entire realm seems hushed, waiting for the arrival of something quietly miraculous. Somewhere within this silent expanse, a small, solitary snowman gazes at the sky. Though motionless, it appears as if there is a gentle spark in its tiny eyes, an impression of calm awe, as though it senses the rare beauty unfolding overhead. The delicate arcs of illumination dance and drift, painting the night with shifting patterns. Even from afar, one might catch the notion that the snowman can feel the faint aurora's glow, a hopeful warmth in the otherwise icy world surrounding it. Slowly, the aurora sways like translucent curtains being drawn across the stars. Streaks of pale green gather in ethereal folds, mingling with soft lavender highlights, while deeper shadows of night frame their graceful movements. This heavenly display carries no sound, yet its silent choreography resonates with a stirring kind of music, a lullaby of dancing lights. Each wave of color ripples with a gentle pulse, reminding the snowman and everything else that lies beneath that there is a secret life to the sky even in the darkest hours. From the broad landscape to the smallest branches protruding from the snowman's body, the faint radiance seems to touch all it encounters. Beneath this skyward performance, the snowman stands like an enchanted observer, quietly bearing witness as the colors shimmer through the deep winter night. The hush remains profound, yet it is no longer simply emptiness. It feels charged with a delicate energy, a promise hidden in the soft glow that skirts the horizon. In this moment, it is as though the snow-laden plains and the sky above have entered into a gentle dance. The snow's soft mounds, rising and falling like low-lying clouds, reflect the earliest hints of color, while the aurora reaches ever further across the stars. Subtle transitions of hue appear, shifting gracefully from a pale, luminescent wash to a gentle swirl of translucent violet, then back to the faintest glimmer of green. It is a performance without a sound, conducted in the deep hush of a sleeping world. Perhaps this fleeting light is a message, a quiet reassurance that, even in the midst of a cold and solitary landscape, there is something luminous and alive shimmering just beyond view. It may be small and tentative now, a first whisper of brightness in a frozen twilight, but it symbolizes the tender heartbeat of hope. The snowman, perfectly still, could be likened to a keeper of silent wonders, standing guard over the emerging aurora. Gradually, the sky appears to draw in these ribbons of color, as though cradling them to preserve their gentle brilliance. The faint aurora will linger, perhaps growing stronger in the coming hours, or fading back into the mysterious depths of night. For now, the snowy field glistens under this fragile glow, and the patient snowman remains, touched by the promise of this silent spectacle. In the hush of the frozen plains, the first glimmer of northern light has begun its soft dance, weaving possibility and wonder into the timeless tapestry of the night. A gentle hush drapes the snowbound plain, as though the world itself is waiting in thoughtful silence. The moon's subtle glow shimmers on frost-crusted drifts, while remnants of the faint aurora still linger in the sky, casting delicate hints of color across the night. Amid this hush, a soft melody begins to weave its way through the air, part lullaby, part lonely call. It carries a note of melancholy yet resonates with a hidden warmth, like a breath of wind curling around frosted treetops. At first, the sound is so distant it could be mistaken for a whisper of the breeze. Yet as it flows gently across the snow, the true nature of this song becomes evident: a wolf's howl, poignant and ghostly, rising and falling with an almost musical cadence. It dances along the earthen contours of the night, drifting between moonlit hollows and the standing silhouettes of barren trees. Each note seems to amplify the stillness, stirring something ancient in the sleeping land, an echo that makes the air quiver with the pulse of a wintry night. Not far away, the small snowman remains in quiet wonder. Though motionless by nature, it might be imagined that a ripple of curiosity forms within its frosty figure. The wolf's song touches even the simplest of hearts, reaching past solitude and into the realm of quiet understanding. As if in response, the snowman's twig-like arms and coal-black eyes convey a silent question who sings so hauntingly in the midst of this deep, cold calm. Gradually, the melody crescendos, then tapers off into a thoughtful hush. A moment later, from a slight ridge in the distance, a pale shape emerges under the moonlight, a figure as white as the snow itself. The wolf steps forward with measured grace, almost blending into the silvered landscape. Its fur shimmers faintly, each strand touched by the elusive glow of the night sky. Though the creature's posture is proud, there is an unmistakable gentleness in its eyes, a quiet watchfulness that mirrors the stillness of the snowy world. For a moment, the wolf pauses, lifting its muzzle as though sampling the air. Then it emits another low, melodic howl, softer this time, akin to a question breathed into the breeze. The sound travels over the silent drifts, reaching the snowman's hearing like a tender invitation. Even the distant stars above, pinpricks of light scattered across a deep navy canvas, seem to listen, their twinkling reflections caught in the shimmer of the wolf's gaze. There is something graceful yet solemn about the wolf, as if it carries the very essence of the wintry night within its being. Each step leaves a gentle imprint on the untouched snow, a silent testimony to its presence. Under other circumstances, a wolf might be feared, yet here in this dreamlike hush, its arrival feels less like a threat and more like a gentle spirit wandering through the quiet realm. The snowman stands witness to this encounter, wordlessly absorbing the moment. Two solitary figures brought together beneath a canopy of drifting auroras and moonlit serenity. Suddenly, a soft rustle of wind interlaces with the near-silent rhythm of the wolf's breathing. The wolf lowers its head slightly, as though acknowledging the snowman's silent existence. In that tender second, it seems as if a bond, however fragile, flickers to life. Two lonely presences discovering each other in a place where solitude once reigned. The wolf's eyes reflect a hesitant kindness, revealing that even in this frosty wilderness, empathy can be found. Without warning, the wolf lifts its muzzle again and releases a final, prolonged howl. The sound arcs through the sky, mingling with distant echoes among the snowy hills. Then, with a graceful turn, it retreats toward the deeper shadows, leaving only faint footprints as evidence of its passing. As the quiet returns, the snowman remains, touched by the memory of that haunting melody. In the hush following the mysterious visitor's departure, The air feels charged with possibility, an unspoken understanding that in this vast, silent land, a single voice can forge a moment of wordless connection, lighting a gentle spark of hope against the silvered night. A soft moonlit glow embraced the snowy plain, where silence served as both a companion and a canvas for gentle wonders. Drifting echoes of the wolf's distant song lingered in the night air, reminiscent of a lullaby humming in the back of one's mind. It was in this hushed realm that a glittering lake lay hidden, its glassy surface reflecting the dim light of the heavens. At first glance, it seemed simply a patch of darker shadow on the white expanse, but upon closer attention, the lake revealed itself as a wide stretch of ice, smooth and gleaming like a mirror. Drawn by curiosity or an unseen pull, the small snowman ventured near. There was a timid air to its approach, as though cautious of disturbing the still perfection of the ice. Yet, something about the translucent surface called out, a quiet invitation to explore the wonder that lay there. Soft snow at the lake's edge gave way to a slippery gleam. One step forward, and the snowman found itself upon a surface unlike anything it had experienced before. With a tentative slide, it began to move. The frictionless plane provided a gentle nudge, as if encouraging each motion to flow more gracefully than the last. A faint crunch of tiny ice crystals accompanied every shift, echoing delicately across the silent lake. The snowman's small, twig-like arms rose slightly, an instinctive effort to maintain balance. Yet, in its earnest attempt to steady itself, a playful spirit seemed to awaken, a spark of delight at discovering this new form of movement. Little by little, it ventured further from the shore, each glide becoming a tad smoother. The night sky's subtle colors, remnants of moonlight and the ghostly glow of the aurora, shimmered across the ice, and the snowman's reflection accompanied every movement. If one were to look from a distance, it might appear as though two figures were dancing upon the lake's surface, one made of snow, the other formed of its mirror image. Together, they performed a simple ballet, guided by the gentle push and pull of this crystalline stage. In the midst of these hesitant steps, a wisp of wind brushed across the snowman's rounded form. This soft gust carried with it the memory of the wolf's haunting melody, as though nature herself was providing a quiet accompaniment to the snowman's tentative dance. As the snowman gained a little more confidence, it tried a slight turn, then another, each rotation creating a swirl of delicate frost beneath its feet. The motion looked clumsy and graceful all at once, endearing in its innocence, beautiful in the sincerity of its effort. A hush blanketed the lake, broken only by the soft scrape of ice under the snowman's feet. Stars flickered high above, and the snow around the shore caught glimmers of reflection from the sky. Gradually, the snowman's simple movements wove themselves into something akin to a gentle waltz. Though no instrument played and no audience stood by to applaud. Yet, the quiet joy it discovered needed no witness, for the magic of the moment was enough in itself. At times, the snowman stumbled, its little twig arms flailing for balance. Each near fall seemed to echo with a playful message: keep going, discover something new. The hush of the wintry night showed no judgment, welcoming these imperfect turns and slides with tender acceptance. Undeterred, the snowman continued, weaving a tiny pattern of tracks across the icy expanse, each moment adding to a heartfelt dance of curiosity and courage. Eventually, the snowman slowed its turns, brought its delicate motions to a rest, and stood gazing at the star-dappled sky above. The night air felt cooler now, yet somehow comforting. Perhaps the wolf had wandered elsewhere, and the faint auroras had faded, but the memory of their presence lingered in the lake's crystalline reflection. A gentle contentment settled over the snowman, as though it had touched a quiet magic hidden in the simplest act of moving across a frozen lake. And so, in that tranquil time beneath the moon and the silent cosmos, the snowman's small adventure ended as gently as it began. There was no grand applause, no flourish of trumpets, only the soft sigh of wind across the snow, and the knowledge that, on a night of infinite stillness, it had tasted a spark of pure wonder. The moon had retreated behind a veil of silvery clouds when the snowman ventured back onto the silent plain, still buoyed by memories of its gentle dance upon the ice. In the soft hush of the winter night, the world felt both vast and intimate, as though it was holding its breath in anticipation of something quietly significant. Wisps of a fading aurora glimmered in the upper reaches of the sky, and the snow crunched softly under every tentative step. It was then, in that wordless twilight, that a familiar presence stirred at the edge of the snowman's awareness. A gentle movement drew the snowman's gaze toward a low ridge. There, with fur gleaming faintly in the muted moonlight, stood the white wolf. Its tail moved slowly, not in aggression, but in a cautious greeting. For a long moment, neither wolf nor snowman moved, as though unsure how to bridge this silent distance. Eventually, the wolf padded forward, each step deliberate and calm. Its eyes shone with a quiet intelligence, mild curiosity, perhaps, and an unspoken acceptance. The snowman tilted its head just slightly, allowing the wolf's presence to wash over its frosty figure. There was no fear in this meeting, only a gentle stirring of recognition. They were two souls who had once shared an instant in the hush of a moonlit field. Now, they had somehow been drawn back together. The wolf circled closer, pausing intermittently to scent the air. Beneath the wolf's paws, the soft powder of fresh snow rose in small puffs, catching the faint light. With every cautious step, it offered a silent reassurance, "I will not harm you." The snowman, for its part, remained as still as it could, twigs for arms poised in a gesture of trust rather than defense. When the wolf finally came within a few strides, the night air seemed to hum with an unspoken dialogue. Curiosity overcame any lingering wariness, and the wolf gently sniffed the snowman's round torso, as though attempting to understand this quiet being made of snow. Then, with an almost playful nudge of its muzzle, it acknowledged the snowman as something more than a mere winter sculpture. In that tranquil moment, something shifted. A fragile yet profound bond formed. The cold wind brushed against them both, swirling the powdery snow into feathery swirls. Where once the emptiness of the landscape had seemed boundless, it now felt gently filled by this unexpected companionship. The wolf's breath, forming tiny clouds in the frosty air, seemed to mirror the snowman's patient stillness. Though they shared no words, there was no need for speech. Their mutual presence was comfort enough, a testament that even in the loneliest places, a spark of connection can arise. At length, the wolf offered a quiet rumble of sound, part exhalation, part reassurance. The snowman, unmoving as ever, seemed to glow with a calm acceptance, grateful for the company that fate had brought. Nightfall lingered, but no longer carried the same solitude. Eventually, the wolf turned its gaze to the horizon, as though considering the path ahead. Though they might part ways again, an invisible thread now linked them. In that shared breath of winter air, both the wolf and the snowman understood unexpected friendships can spark the gentlest of hopes, even in a world draped in silent snow. A soft hush blanketed the snowy plain, where the moonlight had dwindled to a subtle glow. The air carried a feather-light stillness, as if the land was pausing between breaths. Within this suspended moment, tiny snowflakes began their silent descent, first in gentle drifts, then in an ever-growing flurry. Each flake seemed to arrive with its own delicate presence, swirling and glimmering in the faint light that lingered across the sky. The small snowman stood quietly, still warmed by the lingering memory of its unexpected reunion with the white wolf. Though crafted from nothing but snow and twigs, it gave an impression of calm attention, as though taking in the spectacle of snowflakes dancing on the breeze. Every flake that landed upon its round form added a fresh glimmer to its frosty figure, crowning it with a fragile beauty that blended seamlessly with the winter night. Not too far away, the white wolf padded gently across the drifts. It paused as the snowfall intensified, lifting its muzzle to the sky in a gesture of silent wonder. Snowflakes brushed through its fur in delicate wisps, accentuating the wolf's pale coloring until it nearly vanished into the glimmering landscape. Even in this cold hush, there was a warmth in the moment, a sense that both snowman and wolf belonged here, where the falling snow was their shared lullaby. As the snow grew heavier, the night took on an almost musical quality. The wind, soft yet persistent, offered a hushed rhythm, weaving between the falling flakes like a gentle conductor. The snow itself became part of an unspoken orchestra, every flake landing with the faintest whisper. In this quiet symphony, something deep and stirring seemed to awaken, the first notes of a waltz that had been waiting in the stillness all along. From its vantage, the snowman felt a subtle stirring, a gentle urge to move again, much like it had on the frozen lake. Although the ice was out of sight for now, the memory of gliding across its surface lingered, intertwined with the comforting presence of the wolf. And in the swirling snow, a similar invitation seemed to echo, an offer to sway and spin in harmony with the night's measured pulse. The wolf, too, appeared attuned to this unspoken melody. With each fall of a flake, it breathed in the shifting hush, ears tilting forward as though listening to a faint tune in the distant air. There was no fear in its stance, only an innate grace, as if the wolf recognized the promise hidden in the ever-thickening flurry, that within these delicate spirals of falling snow, there lay the beginnings of something wondrous. In that moment, snowman and wolf were bound by more than silence. Snow gathered around them in circling gusts, filling the space between with floating crystals that sparkled briefly before settling. The hush felt alive, charged with a quiet anticipation. Though no words were spoken, the atmosphere whispered of a dance soon to be shared, a waltz that would unite even the loneliest hearts beneath the shelter of a snowy sky. Thus, in that serene pause before the music truly began, the stage was set. The soft snowfall became a prelude, a promise that these two companions, drawn together by simple chance, were about to embark on yet another moment of gentle magic in a winter world lit by starlight. The gentle snowfall of the previous night had softened into a quiet morning hush, and the snowman found itself recalling a subdued yet insistent desire, an urge to return to the vast lake of ice and continue the dance that had only just begun. Though the world still wore a mantle of winter's chill, there was a certain anticipation in the air, as though every snowflake drifting down was nudging the snowman forward in its quest. It set out before the moonlight had fully waned, following a faint silver glow that illuminated the path. The fresh blanket of snow muffled each step, leaving behind tidy tracks that seemed to fade as soon as they were formed. Somewhere, off to one side, the quiet presence of the white wolf made itself known. Through a gentle rustle in the powdery drifts, the wolf slipped in and out of view, never straying too far, as if offering silent support. Soon, the lake revealed itself, still glassy beneath its coat of frost, and the snowman drew closer with a sense of reverence. This place held cherished memories of stumbling attempts at a graceful dance, fueled by a fragile spark of wonder. Now, that spark had grown into a gentle but determined flame. The snowman paused at the edge, mustering the resolve to step onto the ice once more. As it slid onto the lake's surface, a soft crunch heralded its arrival. Snowman remembered each slip and swirl from its earlier venture, recalling how the gentle friction of ice had transformed into the beginnings of a dance. Now, every tentative glide hinted at improvement. A hush settled, as if nature itself were watching in anticipation. With each movement, the snowman listened not with ears but with an inner awareness, attuning to the faint rhythms of the wind and the steady hush of falling snow. In those subtle sounds, it sought the notes of a barely audible melody, a music that had existed all along. Gradually, it skated farther from the bank, carving arcs and spirals into the pristine surface. Each pass became smoother, and the snowman's twig arms lifted in a quiet mimicry of a dancer's grace. A slip would bring a momentary wobble, yet each near fall felt like part of the learning, the music of winter encouraging gentle corrections rather than harsh scolding. High above, the sky seemed to glow faintly, as if cheering on the snowman's perseverance. All the while, the wolf watched from the shore, occasionally venturing onto firmer patches of ice for a closer look. The wolf's presence did not interrupt the quiet training, rather, it lent a comforting sense of companionship, a reminder that this quest for hidden notes, this quest for a secret waltz, did not have to be a solitary one. By the time the snowman paused to rest, the ice bore intricate tracks of its progress. Those lines, while imperfect, shone like calligraphy on a moonlit page, each curve telling a story of discovery. Though the snowman had yet to master its dance, there was a growing confidence in every sway and slide. Within the silent winter world, a quiet refrain seemed to stir, a song that might soon become a full-blown symphony, bound by the shared determination of snowman and wolf. In the hush of that frosty expanse, the snowman gazed at the swirls it had etched on the lake's surface. It felt no rush to leave. Somewhere in the hush, the elusive notes of a deeper melody waited, beckoning with the promise that, step by step, they would form the foundation of the waltz it so longed to dance. A delicate hush enveloped the winter landscape as dusk gently yielded to night, bathing the snow in a cool, ethereal glow. It was as though time itself had paused, allowing the snowman and the white wolf a final moment of stillness before the grand dance. High above, the sky shimmered with the first whispers of the aurora, soft ribbons of color flying across the darkness. This night would be different. There was a quiet promise in the air, an unspoken certainty that something wondrous was about to unfold. With a calm sense of purpose, the snowman slid out onto the glistening ice of the frozen lake. The days of patient practice had etched patterns of confidence into its snowy form, and now each movement carried a gentle grace. The snowman's twig arms rose in a silent invitation to the world around it, as though beckoning the heavens to join in a celebration of winter's serene beauty. Standing at the lake's edge, the white wolf watched with an unwavering gaze. Its silent companionship had guided the snowman through moments of hesitation, and now it stood guard over this final endeavor. In the wolf's patient eyes, there was neither doubt nor fear, only a watchful kindness, as though offering silent encouragement with each flick of its pale ears. The soft crunch of snow under its paws was the only sound, a subtle undertone to the hush that blanketed the night. As the snowman began its dance, the ribbons of aurora overhead brightened, casting gentle rays of lilac and green across the ice. With every glide, the snowman seemed to converse with the northern lights, weaving delicate arcs and whirls that mirrored the shifting colors in the sky. What had once been clumsy attempts on slippery ice was now a heartfelt performance, each turn flowing with a quiet confidence. Moonlight and aurora glow merged into a dim, shimmering tapestry, reflecting on the lake's surface to create a stage of ethereal light. Soft flurries of snow joined the spectacle, descending in glittering spirals. They floated around the snowman, forming a silver-white curtain that arced through the air, spinning in tandem with each gentle step. In that dreamlike swirl, the world seemed boundless, as if the ice beneath and the sky above were two halves of a single, limitless realm. There were no onlookers to applaud, no fanfare or instruments, only the deep tranquility of this silent ballet, a profound harmony shared by snowman, wolf, and winter itself. From time to time, the wolf voiced a low, resonant howl, a mellow tone that underscored the snowman's dance like a distant melody. The sound carried across the lake, echoing against the snowy hills. Far from alarming, it enriched the scene, weaving the wolf's voice into the tapestry of auroras, moonlight, and drifting flakes. The snowman spun more boldly with each note, liberated by the wolf's gentle accompaniment. A sense of joyful completeness began to fill the icy stage. In that serene union of movement and stillness, color and silence, a gentle warmth sparkled in the snowman's charcoal eyes, a warmth born of gratitude and belonging. Though made of snow and bound to this cold, bright domain, it experienced a kinship with everything around: the patient wolf, the glowing sky, and the quiet earth below. The air hummed with an almost imperceptible music, the kind that resonates more in the heart than in the ears. When the snowman's final turn slowed to a gentle halt, the auroras seemed to linger, as if honoring that magical instant. For a heartbeat, the lake remained completely still, bathed in color and moonlit hush. Then, slowly, the wolf stepped forward, crossing the lake to where the snowman stood. A single look passed between them, one of serene understanding, far deeper than words could ever express. They both recognized that, in this fleeting span of winter's hush, they had discovered a profound bond. As the night wrapped them in its silent embrace, the snowman and wolf turned together toward the horizon, where the faint glow of dawn was already beginning to kiss the sky. In that final moment, the wind carried a hushed promise: though the ice may melt and winter fade, the dance they shared would endure in memory, a quiet miracle woven by a lonely snowman, a gentle wolf, and the soft light of the drifting snow.